We are going to learn to multiply fractions. When we multiply fractions, we can replace the multiplication symbol with the word of. So in this first example, we are finding 1/4 of 1/4. 1/4 of the rectangle is shaded blue. We will use the orange to double shade 1/4 of the 1/4 that's blue to get the answer. So as you see, there's 1 out of 4 that's shaded blue. And now we're going to shade 1 out of 4 of just the blue. Now we can see that there is 1/16 double shaded in orange. Let's see how to do this using multiplication. All you need to do is multiply the numerators, which are the top numbers, then multiply the denominators, which are the bottom numbers. So we have 1 times 1, which is 1, and we have 4 times 4, which is 16. So doing it the model way and doing it the multiplication way, we still ended up with 1/16 as our answer. Let's look at our second example. We are doing 1/2, and now we can see that we have 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 1/18, 1/18 is double shaded. So let's look at how we do that with multiplication. So we're going to multiply our numerators first. 1 times 1 is 1. And now we're going to multiply our denominators. 2 times 9 is 18. And that is how we multiply fractions. It's pretty simple. Let's do a few examples without a model, just using multiplication. So we have 1/2 times 1/8. So that means 1/2 of 1/8. So we're going to multiply our numerators. So we have 1 times 1. And we're going to multiply our denominators. So we have 2 times 8. So 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 8 is 16. So we have 1/16 as our answer. Let's look at this next one. Again, our numerators on top are 1s. So we have 1 times 1. And then we multiply our denominators. So we have 7 times 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 7 times 4 is 28. And the last one we're going to do 1/6 times 1/6. So our numerators, we have 1 times 1. And the denominators, we have 6 times 6. 1 times 1 is 1. 6 times 6 is 36. So our answer is 1/36. All right, let's look at what it looks like if we do not have 1s as our numerators. So we're going to set it up the same way. We're still finding 3/4 of 2/3. So we have the 2/3 shaded in blue. That means we have 2 out of 3 shaded in blue. And we're going to shade 3/4 of just the blue section. So we have our blue section cut into fourths, and we're going to shade 3 of them. So we have 1, 2, 3 sections shaded there. And so now we can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that are orange. And there's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 all together. So we have 6/12. Let's see if using multiplication gets us the same answer. So we still multiply our numerators. So we have 3 times 2. And we have 4 times 3 for our denominators. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 3 is 12. So just like our picture showed us, 6/12 is our answer. 3/4 times 2/3 is 6/12. Let's look at this example over here. We have 1/2 of 5/8. So 5 out of 8 we need to shade first. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shaded blue out of 8 altogether. And we're going to shade half, 1/2 of just the 5/8. So we're going to shade just the 1/2 of that. Let's see if I can do that. All right, so it was split into 2 pieces and we shaded one of them. So now we can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orange, 5 pieces that are orange out of, let's see, if this was 5, this is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 5/16. Let's see if that's what we get when we multiply. So multiply our numerators first, 1 times 5. Then multiply our denominators, 2 times 8. So we have 1 times 5 is 5, and 2 times 8 is 16. So we got 5/16 as our answer again. So this is just showing the model of what we're doing, and it's really easy to just multiply fractions. You just multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. So let's do some practice with that. So we have our 2/3 times 1/7. We need to multiply the numerators together. So 2 times 1 and the denominators together. So 3 times 7. So 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 7 is 21. So our answer is 2 21s. Now let's look at 2/5 of 3/4. Remember, of is just the word form of the multiplication symbol for fractions. So it just means to multiply when you see the word of. So we have 2/5 of 3/4. Let's start with our numerators, 2 times 3, and our denominators, 5 times 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times 4 is 20. So we have 6/20 as our answer. Let's do one more example. 7/10 times 5/6. So start with multiplying your numerators. 7 times 5, and then multiply the denominators. 10 times 6. 7 times 5 is 35. 10 times 6 is 60. So our answer is 35/60. All right, so that's all we have to do, unless it asks you to write your answer in simplest form. So what simplest form means, if we have a big fraction like this, we might be able to make it equivalent, but using smaller numbers. And let's look at what I mean when I say that. So look at these pizzas here. We have 1/2 of a pizza, so 1 out of 2 pieces that are left. Over here we have 2/4. We have 2 pieces left, and there used to be 4 pieces. And we have 4/8, so there's 4 pieces left, and there used to be 8. These are all equivalent. It's still the same amount of pizza. These are just cut into smaller pieces than this original one. 1/2 is the simplest form. It has the smallest numbers in the fraction. So we want to try to make our answers have the simplest numbers in them without changing the amount of pizza that we have. So let's do this example. So let's start by solving it. So we have 3/6 of 1/4. So we're going to multiply our numerators, 3 times 1, and multiply our denominators, 6 times 4. So 3 times 1 is 3. 6 times 4 is 24. So now the way we're going to make these into simplest form is we're going to list the factors of the numerator and the denominator. Factors are just the numbers we multiply together to get these numbers. And we're going to look for the greatest match between the two. So let's start with 3. All right, so we have 3 there. 3 is a prime number, so that means it's only going to have let me get this centered real quick. All right, so 3 is a prime number, so it's only going to have 1 times 3. All right, we can't do 2 because 2 times nothing gets us to 3, so that doesn't work. And then we're back to 3 times 1. Those are the same numbers, so we don't have to write them again if we already have it on either side of our t-chart. So we're done with the 3's. That one was easy. Now let's do 24. All right, so we know it's always going to be 1 and 24. See, can we also do 2? So you can look in your on your multiplication chart in the 2 column and see if you get to 24. If you do, what does it go with? 2 times what gets to 24? You should see 12. 2 times 12 is 24. Now let's check 3. So you can look in your multiplication chart in the 3 column and see if you get to 24. So 3 times what gets to 24? You should see that it's an 8. Now let's check our 4's column. 4 times what gets to 24? You should see that it's a 6. And then we could check the 5's column. Nothing's going to get us to 24, so we're not going to write a 5 down. And then the next factor we check is 6, but we already have 6 over here, so we're done. So now we're looking for matches on any side. They don't have to be on the same side. So I see 1 and 1. I also see 3 and 3. 3 is larger than 1, so we're going to use 3. So we're going to come up here to our fraction, and we're going to divide our numerator and denominator by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. It tells you right here. If you look next to it, it tells you its matching factor is what it's going to answer, what the answer is going to be. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. And 24 divided by 3 is, it's right here, it's matching factor, 8. So when we make 3 24ths in simplest form, it's 1/8. If we were thinking about pizzas, it would still be the same amount of pizza. It would just be cut into less pieces, but bigger pieces. So you'd only have to eat one piece that's cut into 8 slices, where you'd have to eat 3 pieces that were cut into 24 slices. Same amount of pizza though, just like we saw in this example.